my tree.
About the loose bricks up there. When Mark took this tree down the other day, he found a big stone on top of the roof, so we are a little bit concerned about things falling.
That come out of that top row there.
That came out of the very top up there where there's gaps. I think maybe the branches of the tree were inside there, so we're sort of pushing it out, and the reason it didn't do damage is probably because it fell through the tree and had its fall broken by that. So yeah, there you go though. That will yeah. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that. He's put some rebar in there to stop any more soil and things getting against the side of the greenhouse, as the timbers down there are rotten and we need to replace them. These timbers here, as I said in a previous video, are going to be replaced. We do have some timber for them, at least as a temporary measure for a year or two before we might invest in some tannalised timbers for that eventually. But for now we're going to use the pallet collars that he's going to take apart, that are the planters in our garden, just to cover that for now as a temporary thing. We need to fix the guttering. But yeah, it's leaking inside, but we've realised that it's just where the, can I show you up here, where the roof joins are. This is the good thing about being 5'3", you can't look at anything. You can see that the plastic panels are slotted into those holders, or whatever they're called, and the roof leak in between. I think that's probably just going to be the way it is, because we won't be able to get any kind of sealant up there to the back, because it does go quite deep. So, and it is, you know, it's a greenhouse, it's just a shame that these timbers are constantly getting wet, really, because obviously they're good quality tannalised timbers, but we want this to last as long as possible. You don't fancy rebuilding this, Mark, do you?
No.
Not anytime soon anyway. So yeah, there we got some leaks, but yeah, probably put something on to catch it, because this is just a laminate worktop, so it'll rot. Yeah. Yeah, my lettuces are still alive. We haven't been up for 3 weeks. Well, I haven't. Mark has, but I haven't been up for 3 weeks and I haven't watered these, so they've done quite well. Petrol spinach has been eating a little bit. I mean, we're not expecting massive growth in January because it has been really cold and frosty this week, but apparently we're going to get some nicer weather. Well, warmer weather, probably not nicer. We seem to be having either mild and wet, solidly wet, or frost, hard frost at the moment, so I haven't really been up and done much recently, but as you can see, Mark has. So yes, we're going to nip to the garden centre to pick up some compost and some bits and pieces, because it is chilly sowing time. The garlic's okay, you know, it's there, it's only little. I don't know if much has happened down this end. It's a bit boggy down here. Don't got much growing at this side, so whichever variety I put here, I think there is a bit more of a gap in the middle actually where let's have a look. around this side. So these ones at this end are Carcassonne. This one is, let's have a look, Kingsland White, and this one will then be Provence White. So yeah, I've got some more as well at home, some spring sown garlic to get in as well, but I don't know where we put that. But yeah, it's not looking much different to the last time you saw it. My rhubarb haven't got little shoots on them like my neighbour's rhubarb's full of little shoots. Ours isn't, so I don't know how well it's doing. But this bed, because of the runoff, I've said this before, but because of the runoff from the polytunnel, this bed is very, very wet. And we've had a lot of rain, so who knows. I think we will keep the rhubarb here if it's okay. But I think that this bed is probably going to be flowers. To be honest, because this is going to be the exterior of the plot. So if you imagine that we'll have the arch and a fence, and then this will be the outside, and then we'll have a fence run along there where my finger is there, and then an arch here. So this will be sort of on the outside of the plot, and we'll have flowers in it. But yeah. Is it time to go to the garden centre?
Yeah.
Off we go. It's Friday and Mark's got the day off because today is my birthday. 42 today. And he always takes the day off, and we usually go out for lunch and go to a garden centre and have a potter around. But today, this year, we've got an allotment, so this is where we've come, which I'm very happy about. It's a job for today. Yeah. Don't know which storm did that, but thank you. Thanks a lot. And not too bad though, I have to say. And then this has come off again, but I'm going to staple that back on. So today we've been thinking, and we've got a plan for this area that's a bit different to what we were anticipating. So this bed's collapsing, as you may know from before. So we need to set this apart, but the fence is going to go down that end there and to there. So what we're going to do, and this paving wanted to be redone, and we were going to redo this raised bed here, what was a raised bed. What we're actually going to do is we're going to take up these flags, all of these ones, take them up, leave the sheds on obviously, but take the rest up, and we're going to take apart this bed, which means removing all this compost and soil, which will be no small task. And then we're going to level out this whole area and wood chip it. So we'll just leave this one row of flags up here as a path. I just wanted to mention at this point, we actually end up keeping both those rows of flags, and Mark adds an extra flag at the end where the grass has grown over. So that's for access really, just to make it easier with a wheelbarrow. Okay, back to the video. This whole area will be wood chipped, and then I've jumped on that bandwagon that everybody was on Instagram and managed to get some planters, raised beds from B&Q, which my lovely husband is carrying, and we're going to have a play about with those and see how they work out. So that's the job for today. It is freezing. It's a lovely day, but it is absolutely freezing. And I've got my little coat on because my big one gets in the way when I'm gardening, so I need to get on to warm up. So at this point, I go off to my parents' house to pick up a couple of pallet collars that we've got that we're going to use down in that bottom corner. And Mark, in the meantime, as you can see, gets to work lifting all those flagstones and taking up the raised bed. Now, if you look very closely at this point, you might just spot the lesser spotted Lindsay actually filmed doing some work on her allotment. But doesn't last long because my dad turns up to wish me a happy birthday, and I end up chatting to him for about an hour. So there's some more footage of Mark doing work, and now Mark's got caught up in the conversation, so nobody's doing anything at this point. My dad was concerned that recently in a short that I published, that it made it sound like he might no longer be Earthside. And he is, because here's some proof of life with him picking bugs off some overalls. Lovely. Oh, and yet more footage of Mark being the only one working. For a change. So while Mark's building up these planters now, I will show you what we've done. So, wood chip this area. I'm keeping you quite low because there's a plot neighbour on today and I don't want to get him in the shot without his knowledge. So we've wood chipped this area, not fully because we've run out of wood chip, but we've got some not far away that's a free, pretty much endless supply, so we'll get some more in a bit. Sorry if the sound quality is poor, it's very windy, but I've got my mic on, so hopefully it'll be okay. So that raised bed there works really well, that pallet collar, that's all good. So this area now, what we're going to do is we're going to build up a couple of the the raised beds and lay them out how we want them, decide what we want to do, and then we will fill 2 of them when we get them into position with the compost from here and soil, so that we don't have to move this pile and then move it back again, and then we'll look to finish off clearing this and wood chipping that area as well. And plus we'll know then how much soil we're going to need for each bed, because we do have it mounded up on this bed as well, if you can see how high that is. So yeah, so it's getting very windy. We've been carting this about, so it's been I've warmed up a bit. There's quite a lot here, so yeah, let's get back to it. And in other news, both my rhubarb crowns are dead, which is a shame, but it's not surprising because this is a really wet bed. So we think about things I can grow in here. Flowers, it's east facing, good soil, loads of compost, it's been mulched loads over the years. So let me know in the comments what you think I could grow along the side of the polytunnel. This is the outside of the plot. I'd like it to look nice, if I'm honest. But it does get a lot of water running off from the polytunnel, so yeah. Answers on a postcard. Having a little bath in the greenhouse. These aren't hard to put together, she says, but they are fiddly. And the Allen key they've provided is rounded off at the end, so he's using a different tool. What tool are you using, Mark? That tool, that thingy-bob. And yeah, so just need to put the rubber around the top, and then we can put this in place and see how we're going to lay this area out. Okay, so what we've decided is we're going to put one here, where this one is, and then we've got 4, so then we're going to put another one. We're going to basically put 3 in a row here, with a sort of equal-sized gap in between each, and then the other one will go there. So they're all going to run north to south. Got a nice pathway through to the shed. We're going to have a bench in front of the shed. I did think about putting one in front of the shed, but we're going to have a bench, and I might plant a climbing rose because there's a bit of space down here. Could have a small climber. Actually, I've got a jasmine that might work there. It's east facing though, I'm not sure, but we'll see. So there will be, if we look at this part here, gosh, it's cold, it's windy. There'll be one there, one here, and then that one. So Mark's going to carry on building, and I am going to get filling this because I'm cold and I need some exercise to warm me up. You know when you think you're filming but you're not, and you're actually just talking to yourself at an allotment site. That's kind of, yeah. So I filled that one up. It was hard work, but that's good because I'll be having a very unhealthy tea tonight. So that's good. So if you've got any suggestions for climbers that will like that spot there, either in the edge of the pallet collar or in a pot next to it or in the ground direct, whichever, just something that will like an east facing wall. Nothing too vigorous. It'd be nice if it grew fast but didn't get too big. We don't need it yet because we're going to be painting that shed and fixing that window, so we don't need anything too soon. But yeah, I really like that. I think once they're all laid out, it'll be good. So yeah, good. So there's 2 in place now, so I'm going to get filling that second one while Mark builds another one. Isn't that right? So there you go. They look really wonky in the video, but they're not, I promise. So we've also cleared most of the space for where the next one's going to go. So that pile of compost there and soil will go in the next 2. It's a bit wonky, but we'll have a look at that anyway. So yes, so we need to go now, pick the kids up, get that unhealthy tea I spoke about earlier, and Mark will be back tomorrow to hopefully finish off. We're going to take the remaining 2 beds with us home and build them up at home so that he can just bring them up tomorrow ready made. I think they should hopefully fit in the car. Yeah, job's a good one so far. See you tomorrow. So it's Saturday, and my parents have very kindly agreed to have our kids for a few hours, so I've managed to come with him. He's built the rest of the planters up at home. Just realised there's going to be a bit of a... That's where the arch is going to go. So I can just show you sort of... Whee! Like that. Just like that. And so the planter might be in the way. Just sort of something to think about. My microphone and mic receiver must have fallen out of my pocket yesterday. I couldn't find it this morning, and I've just found it on the path on the way into the allotment. So it survived a night outside on the ground, and it's still working. So I'm quite impressed with that. So yeah. So I think the first thing we're going to do is get these filled. Probably fill that one with the soil from there, and then put that one in place that he's just brought over, and then get some more wood chip. And, see what we think, and actually be stuck with it because we'll have filled it back with compost by then. So once they're in place and filled, they are not moving, are they? So we've had a little mess about with it, and we're just going to have to move because the arch that I like is 1.45 metres wide, which might actually even be a bit wide for this space anyway, but to accommodate that we're going to have to move this planter further down, so it's not going to be in a row, with these 3 planters. It's going to be slightly to the side, but if we move it down we'll still have a big enough gap around each end and access to that bed as well, because obviously I don't want it to be too cramped. We need to be able to access things. So Mark's going to go get some wood chip while I start moving soil, because we can't lay it where we want it now, so I'm going to start shifting things. Right, I've cleared some of the soil, so that's where this one's going to be. So, if you're wondering if it's going to annoy me, it not being in a row, yep, it is, but I really want my arch over the gate that's going there, so, you know, if you want something, sometimes there's a compromise. So yeah, so I've shifted that, so now I'm going to fill it. putting these planters, guys. I was going to do potatoes in one and just use new compost and earth them up as I bought more. But with so much compost and soil to move here, that it made sense to just use what we'd got. I was tempted to grow some Jerusalem artichoke in the wooden raised bed, but because they grow so tall, and because it's south over there, I was a bit worried that they would shade out the planter that Mark's currently filling now. So I'm not sure, because they get to about 8 foot tall, and that's already 40 centimetres, just over, probably about 15, 18 inch, something like that. So I'm not sure. Bearing in mind, we won't be growing any brassicas here because the plot has club root, so this soil will have club root. A lot of this compost will be quite alkaline as well, because it's been limed. The bed that was there was limed last year by my dad, but then we didn't grow any brassicas in there anyway. But he limed it in anticipation of growing brassicas there. So yeah, let me know what you think. I think salad crops would be quite good. Things like that. Yeah. I'm very happy with how it's going anyway. I better go help. So what do you think? Have we improved it, or do you not like it? Was it better before? Let me know what you think. I can take an honest opinion. So, we haven't wood chipped down here because we are going to be digging for the fence posts before long. So we'll wood chip that after that's done. And yeah, I'm really impressed with the the way that pallet collars just fit in that space. I'm really glad. We've put that bench back now, which is a bit wobbly, I'll be honest, and it's very heavy. So we're probably going to put that somewhere else where it's not going to wobble quite so much. And we do have another bench that we're going to fix up and put there, because it's a nice little spot to sit, and you can see the whole plot from in front of this shed. So I've had some prices for some timber, for some fencing rather, from the timber merchant just down the road, and it's going to be about £25 a panel for a 6 foot by 3 foot panel. So we're going to need about 9 of them. So that's another one of the big sort of jobs in terms of expense. So yeah, so we're going to be getting on with that soon. Also, we're going to need some new mesh, some new net for the brassica cage, because the storm has damaged this. This is just scaffolding netting. So getting some proper stuff is something we've considered for a while. So, but that's not going to be cheap either, because it's quite a big frame. It's about 3 meters by 4.4, I think. So yeah, some more weeding to do, and we still need to take up these paths, take up the gravel, get those weeds out and the membrane underneath, and replace it with cardboard and wood chip. Same again here, really. And what we've realised is that these beds aren't in as good condition as we thought. They are getting a bit rotten in places. So this year is fine, but I think next year we're probably going to need to replace these beds. This sleeper's rotten as well a little bit, but it's so thick it's got a few more years in it yet. And we're not sure what to do with this path here, because it's very slippy and very wonky and quite small as well. So we may lift those. We may wait till we redesign this area, because my dad says they're very thick and very, very heavy. So yeah. So that's this part. That path along the brassica cage will stay, because that's really nice and absolutely fine. So we've lots of paving stones now. We've acquired more after yesterday's lift. So we're going to use those to redo under here. That's the timber that we took up today. So as you can see, we wanted to reuse it, but it's not salvageable. The little buglies can have that. So yes, this paving here needs to continue to the greenhouse, and these raised beds need to be fixed up. And what my dad told me as well, actually, is this whole thing wasn't a cold frame. You can see where the cold frame ended there, where that bottom piece of wood is on that metal bracket. So the left-hand side was a cold frame and the right-hand side was just a bed. And that's where the greenhouse was. It must have been a massive greenhouse. And the building behind was actually a big potting shed and boiler room. So it's pretty amazing, really. It's been so nice to be able to spend so much time here this weekend and get this project from start to almost finish. I cannot wait for spring to see things growing in these planters and to see that fence up. But that is a few weeks away yet. But it feels closer today because it's been so nice to spend time in the sunshine. And don't we all appreciate sunshine in January? I mean, we're really ready for it, aren't we? But light levels are increasing. It is coming. I don't mind January because obviously it's my birthday, so I quite enjoy it. But next week I'm going to be back with a video and I'm going to start my seed sowing, which I'm excited about, I've got to tell you. So I hope you'll come back for that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new here, thank you so much. I do hope you'll consider subscribing because I would love to see you here again. If this is not your first visit, then thank you so much for coming back. Please leave me a comment, whoever you are, down below. I really, I do this for the interaction, so I do love to hear from you. I try to make sure I reply to everybody's comments, so please say hi. Hit the notification bell to be notified the next time we upload, which will be very soon, because hopefully Monday is seed sowing day. So until then, take care and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.